Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this adorable card from the Garden Wishes bundle. And that is part of the Dandy Garden Suite in the new mini catalog, the January to June 2021 mini catalog. And here is this beautiful suite. It's on pages 24 and 25 of the catalog, and I think it even goes over, yes, to page 26. And this is the set we're going to be using today, the Garden Wishes bundle. So let's take a look at it. The Garden Wishes bundle starts with a stamp set, the Garden Wishes stamp set, which is adorable. It has a lot of, it's based on dandelions in a garden, and I love this stamp set because you can see it has the little white seeds that blow off, that you blow off from the dandelion. It has a bee. It even has a little buzz trail for the bee. Isn't that darling? And then there are the accompanying dies, the Dandy Wishes dies, and we're going to use some of those today and see how we can build the flower that's on our card. So let's get started. And one part, you might be wondering about where this beautiful card comes from. It's larger than our normal cards, and that is another part of the suite. And these are the Memories and More cards and envelope pack. And these are the beautiful cards. Let's see their measurement. We'll just measure them out here. So they're 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 in the finished size right here. And they have these adorable dandelion pattern on the front in the color Bumblebee. And the envelopes are what I really love. Look at the inside flap of that envelope. And then on the outside, it's lined with this, framed kind of with this square. And look at the dandelions in the corner. I just love it. And that's the majority of our card. We're just going to basically decorate that card. So to begin with, let me just burnish this score line here to make sure it lays down real nice while we create our card. I'm using my bone folder. And now we're ready. We're going to begin with a piece of designer series paper, and this is 4 1/4, I think, by 3. Yes, 4 1/4 by 3. Now this piece of designer series paper is kind of neat because right now we're in the end of February 2021, and we only have one more week of celebration. And this is a designer series paper that you can get during celebration if you join Stampin' Up! And you would maybe want to join my team of sweet stampers. You get 5 packs of this beautiful designer series paper, and the pattern is the pattern that's going to be used in the brand new catalog beginning in June of 2021. So I've cut this piece because I think it's pretty. It has flowers on it. It looks like it goes so well with the dandelions. And I always love blue and yellow. They're a beautiful combination. So I'm just going to adhere this little piece on the bottom of my prepared card with my multi-purpose glue. And we've started. The card has been started. Okay, now this is what I wanted to show you. All the dies that create this beautiful flower that is our sample flower, our flower from the sample card. And let's pull out our sample card again to look at it. Look at all the layers, and that comes from the dies that are used. And let's take a look here. This large one is this die. I'll set them off to the side. They're incremental. They go down in increments. So what you can do is do like what I've done, and that is cut out the pieces of cardstock in incremental pieces and in different colors so that you can to build your flower. So for example, this flower here in our card today, we're going to have, this is Misty Moonlight, this main piece, and then we're going to put on some Bumblebee. The next lowest die is in Bumblebee. The next lowest die is in Basic White, and the littlest one is in Seaside Spray. Aren't those just super cute? I think they are too. I think it makes such a pretty flower. And so I've left a few for us to die cut in a minute, but let's begin and just build this one flower. And what we're going to do, I like to see that it's rounded just a little bit. And to do that, I take your pick tool, and on the one end that has the gum in it for picking things up, I use it with the lid on, and I put the tip in the center of my flower. Then I kind of just form my flower a little bit around that, and it causes the flower to just have a little more dimension. So we're going to adhere this with a Stampin' Dimensional, because our card is going to have one beautiful dandelion right in the center. So let's put that dimensional on, and we're going to let the stem come down because we're going to cover that in a minute. So there is layer one. Now here is the second layer. This is our Bumblebee color, Bumblebee cardstock. And again, I'm going to form the flower a little bit around the tip of that. Take your pick tool, add a Stampin' Dimensional, and I'm going to try to alternate the petals here so that it looks really nice, and just press that down. And now you can always, curl it back up a little bit once it's been curled the first time. And here's a piece of Basic White cardstock cut with the next size down of the petals. And again, another Stampin' Dimensional at the back, like that. And we're going to try to alternate the petals here also. You see how our flower is building. Isn't that darling? And then for our little tiny one, we're going to use this little die cut piece of Seaside Spray, and I'm going to get out my mini Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere that because it's a little one. So let's put that right on the back there, and I actually forgot to form it around my take your pick tool, didn't I? So we're just going to do that, and that one forms really well. Take our little backing piece off and adhere that right in the center. Look at how we've made that flower so cute. Now the next thing we're going to do is I pre-cut a piece of Basic White cardstock using one of the Stitch So Sweetly rectangle dies. And I'll tell you the size of this one. It's 3 1/8. It looks like 3 1/8 by 2. And I pre-cut that, and we're going to lift this up on dimensionals right here. And it's going to come in the center of this rectangular section, but it's going to cover our stem. So we're going to add a few dimensionals here. We're just building our card, and you can do this any way you like. I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals on there. This is just an example of what you could do with this beautiful, beautiful bundle. It has a lot of variety. And so we're just going to tuck that little stem in there, and we're going to try to center our rectangle there. Oh, and a little bit of the stem is poking out. Let's just trim that off with our paper snip scissors. We'll just trim that little bit. Okay, all gone. Now the next thing we want to do is stamp our sentiment. And our sentiment is from the same stamp set, and it says, wishing you all the best. And I'm going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight ink. And you know, everything from Stampin' Up, all the colors coordinate: cardstock, ribbon, ink, designer paper, everything coordinates color-wise. That's one of the wonderful benefits of the Stampin' Up products. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on a scrap piece of basic white, like that. And I'm going to actually punch this out with our rectangular postage stamp punch. It really is a great layering punch, and it's great for sentiments. So I'm just going to slide my sentiment in there, and I see that I need to cut down this edge just a bit so that my word will be centered in the postage stamp punch. Okay, let's try it again. And there we go. Now let's see if we can get it centered from top to bottom and side to side. That's always, I like for it to be just right, don't you? And there's our sentiment. Okay, and for this, we're actually going to glue this down right in the middle there. So I'm going to put some of my multi-purpose glue. We could raise it up on dimensionals, but I am going to decorate it a little bit, and so I want this to be flat so that the items I use to decorate it can stand up, will be raised up above that. So again, center the piece on the other rectangle. That's such a nice sentiment because it can go for quite a few things, like a birthday or retirement, or so many different things. Okay, now we are going to have fun. We are going to cut a few more little pieces that I've left for us to cut here. And I'm looking for a little something. Here we go. So I have, the one thing I love from this set, probably most of all, is this bee. And I showed you the bee stamp. Well, this is a bee from a piece of the Coordinating Designer Series paper. It's called the Dandy Garden Designer Series paper. It comes in 6x6 sheets, and one of the sheets has all of these cute little bees on it. And wouldn't you imagine, there are dies that cut these bees out. And that's what we're going to do right now. So I left a couple of them for us to do together. So here I've got two things. I need another small a grouping of petals in the Seaside Spray. So I'm going to put those and center this with the die, if I can find it here in a minute, on the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is so cute. And now we're going to put on our piece of Designer Series paper that has the bees on it, and I've got 2 bees there, and the die set comes with 2 bee dies, and I love that because that way you can cut 2 at a time, which is really fun. So I'm going to get that little bee going there, and I'll put my other bee die on. It takes a minute to figure out, you know, his little antennas have this little poking up part right there, and that's how you can tell where to put your die because of his little cute little adorable antennas. Let's push that down. There we go. And then we're going to put our plate, our second clear plate, over top. And I like to try to be real careful so nothing moves. Okay. And we're just going to run that through. Let me give it another try. Sometimes you just have to push it a little bit. Or come back, because one of my issues, I think it's this part sticking out here. Let's tuck that back in and see if that doesn't make a difference. Whoops. Okay, actually what I'm going to do, I think, is let's cut this piece off. I think that was hanging off the top and it wasn't allowing allowing it to grab. So we'll put that one, and now we'll go back and put our little bees on. And we can do it pretty quick because we saw how they worked before. And here's this little guy. I just think those bees are too cute. Okay, now we're going to try it. Okay, there we go, perfect. Roll those through the little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I keep this right at my desk, so I just use it. I can use it all day long. And here's our smallest little grouping of petals, and here are our 2 bees. Aren't they just cute? Okay, now we're going to finish our card here. So here's our card, and what I'd like to do is I would like to put one little bee right inside our flower there. So I'm going to fold him at his body there. In fact, you know what? I think I didn't get that run through quite as straight as I would like it, so I'm going to trim that up. You know, sometimes when I'm on the camera, I don't exactly, I get a little bit nervous, and I don't do it exactly right. So what I'm going to do is fold that bee up a little bit, and I want him to go right on there inside the flower. So I'm going to take another mini Stampin' Dimensional here. And I've actually discovered that you can fit 2 mini Stampin' Dimensionals if you want to on the back of the bee to adhere it. I only need 1 this time because I'm only going to be, uh-oh, that isn't sticking quite right. I'm going to get another one. I'm only going to be adhering his front, his little body. So I'll put that right there. And there's the paper. For some reason the paper had fallen off the other one. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to tuck him right into the flower, the center of the flower, like he's just getting the nectar right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, now I'm just going to trim this other one up a little bit. I probably should have used washi tape to hold them down just straight. I don't want to cut off his little antennas. And let's give him 2 dimensionals this time because we want to adhere him completely on there. And you see that 2 dimensionals fit on the back of the bee to raise him up really nicely. Because they're so cute, you really want people to be able to see these little guys. You know, I don't like bees as far as I don't like them stinging me or something like that, but I really think they're super cute. Excellent. Now we're going to decorate the lower section of our card, and we're going to do like this with these little extra petals, and we're going to put 1 more bee right on here like this. So again, I'm just going to use 1 dimensional this time, the minis. 1 little mini right there, because I want his little wings to hang off the edge, and I think I'll fold them just a tiny, and then adhere him right there. Isn't that just cute? And what I think I'm going to do is now glue down this smaller Seaside Spray flower in the corner, and then I'm going to raise up the bumblebee colored one using a Stampin' Dimensional, and that fits a full-size dimensional. And there we go. Isn't that just a super cute card? I think it's darling, and by the time you add to it this beautiful envelope, I just think anyone would be really excited to receive this card. Of course, some of that might be flattened a little bit in an envelope, but I think that's adorable. So I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial of the Garden Wishes bundle from the January to June 2021 mini catalog. And I thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do so. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.